ugly, mother, big. Your mother is a glorious. I can't say those things on this website, but if you head over to extratug.com, you can hear all of that in its exclusive glory. Today, we are talking about the Olympics. Remember the Olympics? There's a lot of tragedy happening right now, and there's a joke here about ice, but I won't make it because that's in bad taste, and we're all really upset right now, and we should be. I don't want to get political. What the We're here to get away from all that. The Winter Olympics. We're all barely watching it. I don't even know if it's on yet. Honestly, I've seen clips. I don't know if it's warm-ups or whatever. But the Winter Olympics is like a waste of time. It's a weird brother of the Summer Olympics, the only one people give a about. Unlike the Summer Olympics, which trace back to the ancient Greece, the Winter Olympics began in 1924 in France, the root of all problems. Now, normally it doesn't cost as much. It's about $2 to $4 billion compared to the Summer Olympics, $8 to $15 billion. The countries that host the Winter Olympics never see a profit. Never, ever, even though it's way cheaper to do. They've been held in weird places like Salt Lake City, which did turn out to be due to an elaborate bribery scheme, but it's going back to Utah in 2034, so who knows what's happening there. But the Winter Olympics this time is starting Friday, and it's happening in Italy. I'm sure they have some snow somewhere. It's a big country, but I just imagine it to be a warm paradise all the time, because that's where people in America go to have a nice warm paradise when they're rich. I'm summering in Italy. Regardless, today I wanted to make fun of the Winter Olympics, because they're silly and they're stupid, and most people don't even know all the shit that happens there. I'm a big hockey guy. You guys might know that. Love hockey. Favorite sport of all time. But that's the only reason I give a shit about the Winter Olympics, because they get all the countries together, and they take everyone from the NHL and they put them on their own teams from their countries, and then you see who's the best country. I just explained the Olympics to you. Regardless, we're doing a tier list today, and we're breaking down all the sports in the Winter Olympics, and I'm judging them on how much they make me angry. So let's jump into that. Up first, Alpine skiing. How did anyone even come up with this dumb sport? One time as a child, I went to Lake Placid, home of the 1980 Miracle on Ice. If you don't know, big hockey guy. And there, they still had the Alpine skiing luge. Am I talking about the same sport? Yes, it's the one where they do the big jump. So this is the craziest shit I've ever seen in my life. These guys go down a hill really fast and then go off a jump on that hill really fast and see how long they can float in the air like a bird or an angel. It's really incredible to watch, but it's one of the dumbest things I've ever seen in my life. I can see how you get to making a game out of ice skating. You know what I mean? Like you actually, I don't even know how they did that. How did anyone think about putting skates on their feet and getting on the ice? But I don't know, like hockey. Like someone throws a ball and someone says you got to get that ball in the net, and then you slowly develop rules and then use a stick and then you're on ice. Kind of develops. With that, there's no way there was a place on Earth that had the perfect length of a jump to go up in the air for as long as possible and land, and someone says, I could probably go a little further than that guy. Then it gets more and more and more. Am I making any sense? It's a very silly sport. That being said, seeing people do it, it is one of the most miraculous things ever. It is really cool to watch. I just don't know, like, it's one of those things, I don't know how you get into it. Like, you become a gymnast, it's very impressive because you're really strong, you do a bunch of cool things, and then someone's like, hey, you should compete doing that. But with this, like, you're just a regular skier and someone's like, hey, you can jump in the air really high. Do you compete? Do you want to be a part of this weird thing I'm doing? So in terms of overall, I'm gonna give it a B because I do think it's stupid, but I do think it's really cool at the same time. Like, it's a waste of time, but it is interesting to watch. But I also feel like, I don't know, how far can you go? There's got to be a human limit. Well, that's every sport, you know what I mean? Every time we think there's a limit, Usain Bolt cracks one. Next up, ski jump. Is that not alpine skiing? Did I just talk so much about alpine skiing and that's the wrong thing? So I'm gonna switch out ski jump with alpine skiing. I'll put alpine skiing down here. Alpine skiing is different. Alpine skiing is the one where they're like skiing and they're doing it as fast as possible and they're going between the flags and I've never been a big ski guy or snowboarding. I don't find either of those very compelling to me. I played hockey as a child. That was expensive enough. My dad was not going to get me a ski pass. But this is impressive at least. I do find it impressive because these motherfuckers are moving, and you can tell they're moving fast and putting a lot of effort in because when they up, they get really hurt. And that's where I judge my morals in terms of sports. If you make a mistake and almost die because of your sport you're playing, that's a good sport. To correct me if I'm wrong, that's the perfect benchmark. So I do find it impressive. It's very athletic and it's very cool to watch when the snow goes up in the air and they're cutting the up. So I'll put that in B category. Right next to it, shouldn't even, the two are interchangeable to me. Speed skating. It's like running, but on ice. I'm not a big fan of any sport where you cannot physically impede your opponents. Like whenever there's sprinters or runners, you got to stay in your lanes. I want to see someone throw an elbow and knock that dude out. What I want to see is roller derby, really. I just don't think it's a good enough sport if there's no conflict. If it's just trying to be the best, why are you competing? Like, just do it on your own then. Why do you have to go to the Olympics to be the fastest runner? Why can't you just run in your hometown and then you set the record there? Doesn't make any sense to me. And speed skating is no different. Although it does have banked, I believe it has banked curbs where you can like go up and like zip around. It's like NASCAR, but you're on ice. And it is really impressive. Skating fast is a really hard thing to do. So overall, it is an impressive thing to be a good fast skater, but like I said, why don't you just do it at home? Why do you have to go to the Olympics to do this? Why are you next to people? Often people knock each other over and that's against the rules. So like, why even risk? Why don't you just do it one at a time? I don't know. It makes me mad. We're gonna put that in D because that's a silly little sport. It upsets me deeply. Although they recently have been doing a sport where it's like a obstacle course on skates. Like you're going, editor, I wish you the best of luck trying to find what I'm talking about, but like there's like hills and shit, and you gotta like try and survive. Show me that. If that's but bring that to the Winter Olympics. I want to see carnage. Up next, short track speed skating, and we're gonna put that a little lower on E because it's probably everything I hate about speed skating magnified. Because I don't want to see you do less. I'm probably really ignorant here, but like that sounds stupid to me. Next up, ice hockey, S tier by far, best winter sport possible. Am I biased? Obviously. But I think it's not that weird to say that ice hockey is the best winter sport. It's pretty much the only winter sport. I mean, obviously that's not true because there's a bunch of other winter sports on here. But like in terms of sports in the winter, what else do you think about besides hockey? I'm from a place where we say hockey instead of ice hockey. Like if someone said, oh, I played hockey growing up, I'm like, oh, that's cool. They're like, then they show me their rollerblades. I'd be like, what the is that? They're like, oh, street hockey. Like, no, you have to say street hockey. You say hockey, you mean ice hockey. Once again, ignorant New Englander. But it's by, like, anyone who thinks hockey is stupid hasn't watched hockey. Like, even if you think it's a dumb sport, you watch one game, you're having fun. It's impossible not to have fun. Watching someone if someone falls down, slides into the ice, someone starts beating the shit out of somebody, someone goes bar down. Like, it's just so fun to watch. And it's always happening. It's not like watching people jog back and forth and shoot it too, get it in the hoop. I don't like basketball. I find basketball boring, but this is really fun. I don't think you're allowed to fight in Olympic ice hockey though. Are you? Let me find out. Can you fight in Olympic hockey? Fighting is strictly prohibited in Olympic hockey under IIFH, whatever rules. Players who fight generally receive a 5-minute major penalty and an automatic game misconduct. Okay. Has there ever been a fight in Olympic hockey is my next question. No, they don't. No one's ever done it. Puss. Those Olympic people. But yeah, I mean, by far S tier. Easy peasy. We're moving on. Bobsled. I have no clue how this is a sport. It seems, okay, so this is one of those things, like, I used to not know anything about driving cars. I do sim racing. I drive cars with my brother and my dad, and we're in a league, and it's very fun. But before I did sim racing, I never understood why anyone would watch a race, because I was like, why would you watch any part of a race before the last lap? Because that's all that matters. But I was wrong. There's overs, there's way to overtake people, there's like certain, you'd get tapped, someone's out of the race, it's very dramatic, every lap matters. And that's how I look at bobsledding, because right now, as someone who's not a big bobsled head, it looks like the dumbest sport imaginable. It seems like the only thing that matters is the start, where you really push it as fast as you can and then jump into the bobsled. And there's like a team involved, even though there's only one person in the sled, I believe. Sometimes there's two. And then you're just like in this thing getting rocked around an ice luge. And I feel like you're completely out of control during that. Maybe you're not. Maybe there's controls inside of it, or maybe you gotta like move your body in a certain way to make it work. But it seems like it's just all about pushing a sled as fast as possible, and then you count for 40 seconds while it goes down a hill. That's probably super incorrect, but that's gotta be what's going on there. God bless all the bobsledders. God bless the Jamaican team. But that just seems like very stupid to me. I'm gonna put it in C because I know I'm wrong. I'm gonna put it in C because I know there's a lot more going on there. But if I was going to be fully ignorant and not acknowledge my ignorance, I would put it in F because that's so stupid. Luge, on the other hand, still stupid, but a little bit more interesting to me. You don't got this thing around you. You're just a human being going down a hill as fast as possible, and you're definitely using your body with the G-forces to kind of whip yourself around that course. Way more dangerous, I would assume. Probably wrong about that, but it's just you and a sled, so if you go off the ice curve going about 100 miles per hour, you'd die. Recently, my aunt told me that when she was a child, she went to bobsled camp, which I guess was a thing in the 80s, and they would only let her start halfway up the hill because if they started at the top, they would be going like 90 miles per hour, and they're children, so they would die. But I feel like even watching luge, I could tell there's skill involved. Watching bobsled, I can't really tell. Watching luge, they're wiggling. So I'm gonna put that in A tier. I'll put it in A tier because I really feel like That's a tough, you gotta have a good core strength to get that thing moving around. Next up is skeleton, and that might be what I thought luge was. Let me look into that real quick. All right, luge is a competitor or two people ride a flat sled while lying face up and feet first. Skeleton is when they do it head first, lying down. Holy shit. Okay, so it's like luge, but for people with a death wish. That's gotta be the dumbest thing ever. I guess both of them are equally as dangerous, but if you get up in skeleton, that's immediate lights out. Like, you're just dead as but I'm gonna put that in S tier, because that's way more exciting to watch. It's like watching NASCAR. I'm coming to watch them explode. That's incredible. I might tune into the Winter Olympics to watch skeleton this year, because I didn't know that was a thing. That's obviously way scarier. I bet the regular luge people look at the skeleton people like, God bless them. You know what I mean? And the skeleton people walk by the luge people like, hey, put your head in the front to see how scary it is. Wordle has nothing to do with what we're doing today, but I just want to show you guys how good I am at Wordle. Up first, starting word, always canoe. It's not a great word to start with, but I've been using canoe since day one, and if one day the word is canoe and I didn't use canoe, I'm going to blow my brains out. So canoe it is. All right, rough start. We know an A and E is in there though, so that's good. But we're gonna ignore that fact on the second word. That's a chump move to try and use the yellows you got in the first word. You got to just get a whole bunch of new letters in there just to really narrow it down, which I think is a pro move, especially when you start out something no greens. You got to widen the pot. Widen the pot's not a term. Okay, so we're gonna go STUMP, stump, easy peasy, all gray. So we're doing great. Okay, we narrowed it down though, so now we can get into the nitty gritty. So we're gonna go WREA. There's something there. How about leery? AE. Okay, this is a tough one. So the no E or A in the second one. We're gonna start with an R. Fuck. I'm sorry, editor. I shouldn't have done this as a bit. No, S is already taken. GREA. How can I end this to make it make sense? I would like to say grease, but that's not how you spell grease. Grief? Greed? I want to say great. Let's just put great. Okay, that was smart to do. We did waste a letter. We did waste a word because I already knew T wasn't in there, but now we know we got the three middle. So that's all we got to do now. Dread. Oh, that was so stupid. That was such a fucking waste of a word. BREA. Breath. Break. It's break. What was it? Freak? You're a freak. I'm really good at Wordle, normally. Next up is curling. I don't want to be mean to the Canadians here. We've been mean to them too much recently. Curling is hard to watch. I don't know. Maybe it's like watching golf to me, in the sense of like, I understand people are really into this. It is not for me. It is very slow and not exciting. I will say, obviously, them doing that little sweeping motion has some kind of effect. I have no idea how that works. But overall, this is just white people bocce ball. I guess bocce ball is also white people shit, but like, you know what I mean. If you can wear a t-shirt while playing a sport on ice, I'm not interested. So we're gonna go ahead and put that in D category. Maybe E. Might put no D, because there's obviously, it's fun if it's a close game maybe, and you're like, I got money on this. But overall, not a big fan. Freestyle skiing. Is that just where they're trying to do tricks? I believe that's where they're trying to do tricks. Yeah, aerials, half pipe. Yeah, that's sick as hell. I thought this was just X Games category, but I guess the Olympics are getting the teen vote. But yeah, I love watching that. I mean, it's the same thing. I mean, it's just people doing I'm a big fan of stunts. Do a backflip in front of me, I'm paying you $10. I love when people just are doing cool in the air. I think it's so fun, and that's pretty much what this is. I don't want to see someone go down a hill. I want to see someone go down a hill and get off the hill. And I know I just talked about Alpine skiing, but they're not doing tricks. They're trying to go as far as possible. These people are going up there and they're doing twisty doos and McJiggers. So for that's an S, baby. I'm all about the radical teens, and that's what I want to see in freestyle skiing. Cross-country skiing, the exact opposite, F tier, immediately. There's a reason why hiking is not an Olympic sport, because no one wants to watch that shit, and that's what this is, except they have skis on their feet, which makes it easier or harder for them to walk in the snow, and then sometimes they can use their skis to go downhill a little bit, and then they have to go back to walking? Who the cares about anything I just said? That's gonna be the most boring I've ever heard about in my life. I don't know who that is for. It is for the people competing. That's a big caveat here. There are some sports in Olympics that are strictly for the people competing. It's barely a spectator sport. You can't even spectate cross-country skiing unless someone had a camera, or you'd have to follow them around through a 5-mile course or whatever they're doing. Once again, I'm being ignorant, but it's so boring and stupid. It's so stupid. Nordic combined, I believe, let me double check that so I don't get this one wrong again. Oh, combined ski jump with cross-country skiing. I thought this was the one where they had the gun. Okay, no, this is not the one where they ski and then take out a gun and then ski again. This is just doing a jump and then cross-country. So it's a little bit better than cross-country, but still dumb. E. You can only save cross-country by doing so many things. If it had a gun, I'd be interested. No, thank you. Ski mountaineering. Now, this is a new one this year. Athletes use specialized skis to ascend via skins or hiking before descending rapidly. Tucker's got a new thought. So it's like cross-country. I just talked about like hiking and how that'd be a bad sport, but this is actually interesting. This adds an element to it because you're trying to get up the hill as fast as possible and then ski down in a dramatic way. Am I being super hypocritical in saying this is a cool idea? I like this. I like this a lot. I like this concept, like trying to muscle up that hill and you can't make a mistake and you have to perfectly ski down after you're already wiped from going up the hill. I'm excited to see this. That's an A for me. I find that a cool concept. Once again, they don't have a gun. I don't know what I'm thinking of. Isn't there a sport where you ski to like a location and you shoot a gun, you ski to another location? Biathlon, boom. It's the next one. Biathlon is S tier, baby. That is so fucking cool to me. I mean, I don't know who thought of that. That's such a ridiculous concept, but I love the concept of someone going cross-country skiing is so boring. Oh my God, make them shoot something. And they did, and it's excellent. And I love how the women are so good at it. It's so impressive. It's so cool. So I've talked so much about it already without even getting to the category that I think it stands for itself. S tier for biathlon. What a weird name for that. Figure skating. It's kind of gay? I don't know. As a kid, you're always like, oh, figure skating, frou-frou shit. But it's, I don't know, it is really impressive. It is actually unbelievably impressive. The shit they do, they're like doing 20 twisty-doos in midair and like just fucking landing that shit. They almost always are perfect. If they're not perfect, you gasp because it's so unexpected. I don't like sports where there's judges though, where they like say like 9 out of 10, like it's like very opinionated. I don't like that. I want point system in terms of they landed one really cool move, that's 20 points. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's how it is. But at the end of the day, I don't appreciate that. I also find it very boring. I mean, I know it's very impressive, but like, I don't really care. I want to see a ball be dribbled. I want to see a puck get shot. So we're going to put it in D. No, we'll put it in C. That's a little too mean. We'll put it in C because it is impressive, but it's also not for me in any sense. And finally, snowboarding. Editor, can we get like a radical edit here? Snowboarding. Snowboarding's just cool as bro. So radical, bro. Doing tricks, going down the hill on that fresh pow, cutting it up. I don't know anything about snowboarding, but it is cool to see them do flips and shit. And I've already been outspoken about how much I love seeing flips and shit. God bless Shaun White. I will put that in A category. I don't like snowboarding that much, but it's pretty cool. Way better than the fucking ski jump. There you go, gang. That's the Winter Olympics. You guys excited for the Winter Olympics? I'm sure we're all thinking about it right now. I'm sure we're all locked in on the Winter Olympics. I just want things to stop happening. I just want things to stop happening so bad. It would be really good if things could stop happening. What's your favorite Olympic sport? Do you know somebody who went to the Olympics? That's always weird. I feel like someone is always 3 steps away from knowing somebody who went to the Olympics. Must not be that hard. Like, comment, and subscribe. New videos every Saturday and sometimes Wednesday. And shout out the extra toglets. $4 a month. You get your name at the end of the video. And I just found out, like, I've been making these videos and I have people help me out, but we're releasing like 8 videos a month on Extra Tug because we're also doing Satan on top of the 4 videos. So at least 6 videos you're getting. And I was working my ass off. I'm like, God, why am I making so many videos? And then I realized we're making way more for Extra Tug. So a little bit more worth it. Check it out, bro. Thank you so much for watching. Okay, bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.